On this one night of the year, they send their hopes for love down the river. But something ancient and hungry is waiting to pull them under. To survive the night, subscribe now. There is a night, once a year, when the sun reaches its highest point in the sky. The shortest night of the year. For ancient people across Europe, this was a moment of immense power, a time of magic. In the lands of the Slavs, this celebration was known as Kupala Night. It is a festival of fire and water, of love and fertility, a joyous celebration of life at its peak. But it is also something more. It is a night when the veil between our world and the world of spirits becomes paper-thin. A night when the forest comes alive with things that are not human. A night of great opportunity, and even greater peril. This is the story of the most beautiful and the most dangerous night of the year. The heart of the Kupala celebration is fire. A great bonfire, lit as the sun finally sets, becomes the center of the world. Fire, to the ancient Slavs, was a powerful force of purification that it was believed to burn away illness, misfortune, and evil spirits. People would dance around it, sing ritual songs, and drive their livestock between smaller fires to protect them for the year to come. But the most important ritual belonged to the young. Unmarried couples, holding hands, would test their love and their future by leaping together through the flames. If they managed to clear the fire without letting go of each other's hands, it was a sign their bond was strong and they were destined for a happy marriage. If their hands parted, it was a bad omen, a sign that their union was not meant to be. It was a trial by fire, a public declaration of love written in smoke and embers. While fire dominated the land, water held the secrets of the future. The second great ritual of Kupala belonged to the young, unmarried women. Throughout the day, they would gather wild herbs and flowers, each with its own magical meaning. Chamomile for purity, poppies for love, cornflowers for fidelity. From these, they would weave a vinuk, a traditional wreath. As twilight deepened, the girls would go to the river. They would place a candle in the center of their wreath, light it, and set their creation afloat on the current. This was a form of divination, a way to ask the river about their destiny. If the wreath floated steadily and far, the girl would marry soon. If it spun in place, she would remain unmarried for another year. If it broke apart, it signified a broken heart. But if the wreath sank, it was the worst omen of all, a sign of great misfortune, or even death. But as the fires die down and the songs fade, the true magic of Kupala Night begins. For this is the night when the forest awakens. With the boundary between worlds at its thinnest, the spirits are free to walk the earth. And they are hungry for contact with the living. The river, which a moment ago carried hopes for love, now becomes a hunting ground. The Rusalky, the spirits of drowned women, rise from the depths. They are not the playful mermaids of fairy tales. They are vengeful, lonely souls. They sit on the riverbanks, combing their long wet hair, their beautiful, hypnotic songs luring young men to the water's edge. Anyone foolish enough to approach is dragged beneath the surface, to a cold, watery grave. But the greatest prize, and the greatest danger, lies deeper in the woods. The legend of the Fern Flower, the Paperak Vitka. It is said that for one fleeting moment, precisely at midnight on Kupala Night, a common fern bush will miraculously bloom. The flower is said to burn with a fire so bright it illuminates the forest like the sun. And the person brave enough to find and pluck it will receive incredible gifts. The ability to understand the language of animals and trees, the power to see all hidden treasures beneath the earth, and command over all spirits, good and evil. But the quest is a trial of pure terror. The path to the flower is guarded. The forest itself will try to stop you. It will create illusions to lead you astray. Visions of wealth, promises of love. If illusion fails, it will turn to horror. Demonic voices will whisper your name, call you back, threaten you. The trees will seem to come alive, their branches twisting into claws. The spirits of the forest will do everything in their power to prevent a mortal from stealing their greatest secret. To even attempt the quest is to risk your life and your very soul. For the fern flower is not just a prize. It is the heart of the forest's magic, and it does not give up its power easily. But what happens if a mortal succeeds? What if someone, through sheer force of will, endures the terrors and plucks the fern flower? The legends are clear. The trial is not over. It has just begun. The moment the flower is in his hand, the forest's illusions vanish, replaced by its full, unrestrained fury. The spirits he defied now want their power back. They will hunt him until dawn. He must run, never looking back, clutching the flower which is now both his prize and his curse. If he makes it out of the forest before the last rooster crows, the power is his. He will understand the secrets of the earth. But the spirits will remember his face. They will wait for a moment of weakness, forever trying to reclaim what was stolen. The man who finds the fern flower is blessed with unimaginable power, but he is also cursed to walk forever with one foot in the world of spirits, never truly belonging to our world again. While mortals test their fate, another, darker gathering is taking place. For Kupala Night is also the great festival for all practitioners of dark magic. Witches, sorcerers, and warlocks from all corners of the land travel to remote, bald mountains, like the infamous Lysa Hora in Kiev, to hold their sabbath. Here, they renew their pacts with dark forces, perform sacrifices, and gather magical herbs that are said to have the most potent power when collected on this specific night. They brew potions not for healing, but for cursing. They dance not for fertility, but in praise of chaos and destruction. While the villagers' bonfires burn with the yellow flame of life and community, the witches' fires burn with the cold, green flame of death and forbidden knowledge. So how did ordinary people survive this night of chaos? They used their own form of magic, protective wards. As darkness fell, the villages would go into lockdown. Doors were barred. Livestock was brought into protected barns. And special herbs were placed everywhere. Nettles, known for their sting, were laid on windowsills and thresholds to sting any evil spirit that tried to enter. The bitter scent of wormwood was believed to repel demons and witches. An aspen stake would be driven into the ground at the gate, as aspenwood was thought to have power over the undead. It was a night of contradictions. Outside, the fires of celebration raged, but inside each home, there was a quiet, fearful vigil, a silent prayer to make it through the shortest, but most spiritually dangerous, night of the year. So what happened to this powerful, vibrant, and terrifying pagan festival? It survived by changing its name. As Christianity spread across the lands of Kiev and Rus, the church faced a problem. They could not simply forbid a tradition so deeply woven into the fabric of life and agriculture. To do so would risk rebellion. So they did what they often did. They co-opted it. The pagan festival of Kupala, celebrating the summer solstice, was merged with the feast day of a Christian saint whose birthday fell at a similar time. Saint John the Baptist, known in Slavic languages as Ivan. And so, Kupala became Ivan Kupala. The rituals remained, the bonfires, the wreaths, the herb gathering, but they were given a new Christian context. The fire was no longer just for pagan purification. It was a symbol of John the Baptist, who was a burning and shining light. The water rituals were no longer just about destiny. They were a reminder of John's baptism of Jesus in the River Jordan. This created a fascinating cultural phenomenon known as unwary, or dual faith. For centuries, people would go to church in the morning to honor St. John, and then at night, they would jump over fires and float wreaths to appease the spirits their ancestors had always known. The old ways didn't die. They simply went underground, blending with the new faith in a unique cultural symbiosis. And this is why the traditions of Kupala Night have survived so remarkably well into the modern era. Today, all across Ukraine and Eastern Europe, people still gather on this night. They light bonfires, they sing the old songs, they celebrate. For many, it's a fun cultural festival, a connection to their roots. For others, neo-pagans and followers of the old ways, it is still a deeply spiritual night, the most powerful night of the year. Kupala Night is more than just a collection of rituals. It is a story about duality, about life and death, love and fear, the sun and the shadows. It teaches that the brightest light casts the darkest shade, and that the moment of life's greatest triumph, the summer solstice, is also the moment it begins its slow decline towards winter. It is a celebration of our deep, ancient connection to the cycles of nature, and a chilling reminder that on the shortest night of the year, the veil between worlds is thin, and the forest is always, always watching.